Hello everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to use Photoshop to turn a daytime photo into a nighttime photo. To start out, choose a picture that has an overcast sky. You don't want the sun in the picture and you don't want a bright blue sky. You don't want a lot of dramatic clouds either. That's okay, you can work with that, but it requires a few more adjustments. So try to, if you can, just have a smooth overcast sky. Then you're going to go in, open your photo in Photoshop, and apply a curves layer. Normally we adjust the curves this way, but we want to be able to control the colors a little bit more so that we don't just have this boring grayish, blackish photo. We want it to still have color. So we're going to go in and adjust the colors one by one. So in the menu, click on red, bring the red down to just a little bit below, about 1/4 of the way. You're going to take your green, bring it down just a little bit above where the red was, and then bring your blue down until everything looks even to you. So I'm going to say right about here the photo looks even. So now we have a darker picture, but the colors are still there. It's not gray, it's not washed out. And if you click on your layer and you come over to opacity, you can see the original picture and you can kind of watch it go from daytime to dusk to nighttime, and you see that the colors are still even throughout all the stages. So you know that you did a good job. So now we're going to apply a second curves layer up here, and this time we're going to leave it at the original RGB setting. And we're just going to take the midtones down a little bit. This is going to darken the sky, and don't worry if your foreground gets too dark, because you can mask that out. Just try to get the sky where you want it. Now you don't want the sky to be black. This isn't, this isn't like 2 a.m. This is more like 9 p.m. You still want some blue in the sky. You still want to be able to see it. So I'm going to take it right about there. The sky's kind of gray, but you can still see the blue, and it's not too dark. Now you want to go and choose a picture of a moon. It can be one that you took or one that you get from like a Creative Commons site or something. I just took this from Wikipedia. So I'm going to do Control A to select the photo, Control C to copy it. I'm going to go back into my picture over here, do Control V to paste it. Don't worry that it's not blending in. I'm going to show you that in a second. Now you're going to move the moon layer down before the curves layers so that they're applied to it. And then you're going to come over here to the blending mode menu and hit screen. And now it's blended into the photo. The only problem now is that the moon looks too dark. Oops. So the way you can fix that is you click on your Curves 2 layer and you come over here to the paintbrush tool, make it black, and change the opacity to between 40 and 50%. Come in here and test a little area. That looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and keep going with my paintbrush and just mask out the curves a little bit to make your moon appear a little brighter. If you mess up or you think that your brush went out too far, you can use the brackets on your keyboard to make the brush bigger and smaller, and you come in here and change it back to white to mask back in any darkness that you think that you accidentally masked out. So now the moon looks pretty good. If you still think it's too dark, you can come into your second curves layer, make the opacity a little smaller, come back to your black brush and mask out more of the moon. And now you have kind of a glowing moon. But I don't really want my moon to look like that. I'd rather just have it look like this. I'm just going to even it out a little bit. Okay, so the moon looks good. Now my foreground is too dark. You can't really see it very well. So I'm going to go ahead and mask that out. I'm going to lower the brush down even more to about 25%, maybe even lower. Make the brush quite a bit bigger and just test it out. Okay, yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and brush across the landscape to let it in and mask out the darkness. So now you can see the landscape a little better, but the sky is still dark. And once again, if you accidentally extended it too far, just change your brush back to white and go in and kind of re-darken those areas that you went too far. Okay, so now your photo should be good. It should be a nice night photo, but it still has some color to it. You got a nice moon in there. If you think your photo needs any more adjustments, for instance, if you used a photo with a really blue sky and you get to this point and it's still really, really blue, you can add a hue of saturation layer and take the lightness and the saturation down to make the sky less blue and more kind of gray. And then you can use the same technique to mask the foreground out so that it still has color, but the sky isn't quite so blue. If you chose to do a picture with water and you want to have a reflection of the moon in the water, I would encourage you to not do that because it's too hard to make the moon look natural as a reflection in the water. So if you have water in your picture, try to put the moon in an inconspicuous place where it seems realistic that it's not reflecting in the water. But I would recommend just not having a picture with water at all. So here you have it. Now you want to take your layers, flatten the image to get rid of all the layers, and save it as a JPEG. And now you have your nighttime photo. Thanks for watching.